Hello, good morning, good morning. Looking for some Goldie buys over here. We finally got the bullish exuberance in. And the daily is doing what we wanted it to do. Finally. So I'm looking for a buy if we break these highs. I'm going to see if I can get in sooner as well. If there could be like some kind of a setup here. Let's go, Goldie. Damn, is this a candle that's gonna break? It's such a big candle though. It would be much nicer if the 5 minute would just sheesh. If the 5 minute would close, so we can have some room to actually move. Because 5 minutes making this extension here, you know, like we've seen 5 minute candles do like, you know, 80 pips on gold. So this is not such a big hindrance for price. But I will be looking for some bullish continuations here. Depends on how we break now because we're creating a new higher high. So this candle actually has to either break or create that resistance. And preferably a deep resistance. Daily bias indicator is still saying waiting, but yeah, you know, the situation here today is a bit different because if you look at the daily time frame, look at where the daily is heading towards, chat. Daily is heading all-time highs. A Shekarp. Alright, let's see if it breaks on this go. Alright, so I just took a buy over here. Expecting that price can continue to move up bullish. So we got a new 5 minute candlestick that's about to open up too. Yeah, that's the thing. But anyway, let's see. This 5 minute can still keep climbing here. Let's flag Goldie. Oh, shit. Damn, did I hit the wrong button. I hit a sell instead of a buy. Damn, I messed up there. But it's okay. Not a big deal. Holy. Not a big deal. Oh my days. Oh, I guess that's what I get for running on very little sleep. Alright guys, stop loss to break even here. Yeah, I got a little bit of a later entry in there too. So I gotta fly up. Yeah, congratulations though if you managed to catch this move. TP1 just got smashed here. Let's fly, Goldie. This is like a post NFP buy. Oh, but you know, it kind of... Yeah, it's gonna need to push a lot more extra for me now. Because I messed up. Hopefully you didn't mess up. It's gonna have to push. Yeah, I gotta be out of break even. Yeah, it was gonna have to push a lot more for me because I kind of messed up on the entry. But you know, doubly trade. Duh, no, no, no. Don't worry about it. Next trade's around the corner. Yeah, it's quite funny. It actually came in on a Friday. The volume came in on a Friday when people are not going to be on the charts. Typically does that. Sometimes the market can be quite sneaky. It's got a lot of room to keep moving up here. How much are we up right now? Like 0.25. Ooh, where could we end the day? Maybe by 33.30ish. Somewhere around there. Do. Yeah, 33.30. Hey, high is flying. All-time highs. All-time highs by sometime, I guess, like on Monday or something. Not Monday, holy. On next week. Sometime next week. But you see, the important thing is here, we've already started to break above resistance. Right? You see price accumulated here. We saw a break above resistance, and it is on its way up right now. Fill this range 43.60 up towards resistance. If you haven't watched yesterday's what is it, video on market structure versus price action, man, you gotta watch that video. You have to watch that video because you know in that video I basically explained to you how you could have caught these moves here today. No. All right, so should be good here. Should be showing the screen again. Yeah, so price action is still more predominantly bullish, chat. This is like small pullbacks, but we're still expecting this thing to keep gearing up, you know. We're literally at 0.30% right now. 0.30%, so much room to keep pushing here. Nice candle for a sell. Well, good luck, sir. But I don't know if you mean that you want to take a sell. But if you want to take a sell, I don't know. Or because I hit a sell. I caught a buy during Asia and I could have rode until current price, but no. I could have caught this buy this morning over here. But I was still in bed. Kind of like went to bed quite like basically I didn't get enough sleep. But there was this really beautiful buy situation that happened during pre-London time. Right over here. That 10 a.m. break. I mean that 2 a.m. candlestick break above these highs. And then I was like, okay, you know, I missed this trade, so I'm just going to come on stream and take this next one here. Don't get away. India gold discounts widen as price hit record high. See what else is going on. Gold prices chase 4,300 in 2 months high. What's the opportunity cost? Gold rises towards 4,300. Traders seek better gains. Holy! Fly, Goldie, fly!
Why are you running? Why are you running?
We knew you could do this. We knew you had it in you. Bullion on the run again. Traders jump in as opportunity cost of holding it diminishes. Now rates are lower. Gold climbed near 2 months high at 42.90 after Fed rate cut weekend. The dollar making bullion cheaper for global buyers. The move follows the Fed's third straight cut, nudging rates lower and rekindling demand for non-yielding asset like gold. Awesome. Now we see the power of macro fundamentals as prices moving up here, giving us easy trades. Easy trades. Why do you trade London? I can't believe you need to be on the charts. Oh yeah, I trade London because it's the best time to trade. You know, for me, it doesn't matter the time zones. I will always try and find a way to trade London session. I mean pre-London, especially pre-London. Pre-London, maybe London, you know, like I do like the London because NY has a different feeling to it. London is, you know, like, especially on days like this, you really see the power of like coming in early, yeah? Like when price is already geared for like some movement, because by the time we get to NY, majority of these gold buys would be retracing by the NY time. But the good thing about NY is if you're a little bit patient and wait for the fake out to happen first, you can catch the rest of the daily candlestick. You know, it's something that happens quite a lot. Even if you go on yesterday's PA, you can see when the NY session here opened, price first came down and then the daily candlestick later moved all the way up over here to close bullish. So that's a good thing about NY. What am I doing? Last trade of the week now. Okay, done. Jordan 40. Jim 40 giving a hard time. The buy sell button on C Trader. I messed this thing too. I thought I'm the only one. No, it happens. It happens. It was an easy trade. I think I just like overthought it. I overthought a lot of things there for whatever reason. I've been holding gold euro buy since this morning. Picture in Discord. Ideas expecting price bearish sideways until pre-NY. Then after XAUSD. Alright, alright. This is yesterday. Let's see trades taken. David. This is gold euro. Still holding the buys. Very nice. You're definitely in the right direction. This thing could keep running up over here. It's a pretty big move. You're on the minute 10. That is a big move. These moves, they don't come like, you know, every day. You don't catch a move like this every day. That's the thing. But you see also euro is distributing here from this section. Now it's kind of moving towards the upside. But you know, a trade like this, you're not gonna catch like such big trades all the time. Nice chart work here. We got a all right. Like those colors, sir. Very nice. A very nice color style. Thanks to Allah. I've been let's see what else. Coming back for retest. So yeah, it also came back for a retest right here initially. Came back to retest the zone. Because that's where the buyers were getting in. Right here. So it came back. Wanted to see, does Woods want to come in? Let's go check if Woods wants to come in. Maybe you know, Sasir Khan wants to take a buy here too. So let's go see if he's going to be coming in. Came back to check, fishing some orders over there. Then he got its orders and it continued to move up. I was waiting for gold to take sell side and I will enter, but gold gone without taking sell side. Yeah, gold's moving up. Why would you be looking for sells today, sir? Just look at the daily time frame and see what the daily is doing. Finally broke above resistance over here. So we can only start to now move bullish. Now, it took a while. Consolidated, rightfully so, I guess. You know, it waited. It waited, you know, the whole time what we said, this consolidation. The whole reason we're in this situation here is because of the FOMC. So, you know, we waited. We finally got the FOMC. And then candles started to move up. See, we started getting our rate cuts and then candles started to move up. All this was just waiting. You see how important it is to understand higher time frame macro fundamentals, so you know where the market is and where it was and where it is now. So all of this is not just like a random PA, because sometimes you look at this and it just looks like a random PA. Or you treat it as something that you don't know what's going on. Be honest, chat. How many of you in the chat actually use the macro fundamentals? Write a 1 if you do. Write a 2 if you don't. Be honest. Be honest. How many of you actually care about that? About that higher time frame news type of volume from macro fundamentals? Anybody here in the chat? Do y'all actually use it? It's okay if you don't. I didn't use it for like, I think... I barely used it for the first 2 years. Even when I was already profitable. I barely used it because I didn't understand it. I didn't have anybody to teach me it. And the people who could teach me it were going to teach me it in a very complicated economic way. You know, a very complicated way. All right, we got ones. Nice to see some ones in here. The daily gave the most textbook strong previous bullish closure, then bottom wick first on today's open. Yeah, it's an annoying part is I hit a sell, but the signal went as a buy. Still got the right signal out. TP's hit. Well, at least that's the good news. Don't use fundamentals, but I use higher time frame to determine daily bias. Good, man. Right, simply when inflation is high, gold is bought. Anything that drives up inflation is a gold driver. Now what's also good to look at is if you're gonna start a new instrument, I always recommend people go on the quarterly time frame. Just start on the quarterly because it's already gonna give you a good idea. It removes majority of the noise, and you can see what direction price is driving towards, and then now you can dig into the fundamentals of why it's moving like this. You can see on the quarterly here on gold, it's like no big deal. We're still moving up. It's like it will basically just be a quarterly rebreak of the highs on this one candlestick over here. These are straight bullish candles. I don't even know how to journal this trade because the signal was a W and this is signal stats. I think I'm just gonna leave it, to be honest. Can't be bothered. That was a black swan event. Imagine throughout the whole year, that's never happened to me. The whole year. To accidentally hit the sell and then hit the buy later. First time through the whole year. But you know, it's like I almost made it. Almost made it here on the 12th of December. And imagine, it comes on a day that I didn't get enough sleep. It just shows you how important sleep is, honestly. If you don't get enough sleep, then, you know, your brain doesn't always think properly. So grateful for 2025. Best year in trading in terms of lessons learned and not in terms of money. So grateful. Oh man, that means next year is going to be, you know, that's going to be a much better year for you then. Because you got all those lessons in, you know, that's amazing. So I think like you should already treat December like it's already next year. You know, don't wait for the year to start. Just start incorporating a lot of those good habits and just keep it pushing. Keep it pushing. Yeah, man. Like, you've now gotten a market cycle as well. I assume you now got one market cycle, maybe two, depending how long you've been trading for. That's a whole market cycle under your belt. You know, market cycles are... Like, if you ever watch, like, WWE, when they give those wrestlers the belts. So, market cycle is like, you know, you got a belt over there. Let's go. Let's go. Congratulations, everybody, for surviving this first market cycle here. Very well done. Very well done. Next year, trying to get 50K out of trading. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, it's been an incredible year for me. I'm up about 300% over here. And yeah, I mean, like this year has been a lot of learning too, you know, because we've been surfing bigger waves this year. You know, I got to get used to surfing bigger waves. All these waves from 2024, 2023, these have just been like normal, in quotation, normal PA. Man, this year we had to bring out a different type of surfboard, man. We went to Portugal and we're riding the big waves now. I think Portugal has the biggest waves on earth, right? Man, that was 2024, 2025. 2025. We got a new level up here. I don't think it gets any bigger than this, to be honest, chat. Like, I couldn't imagine getting more volume than we got in 2025, especially on gold. I can't imagine it. Like, what would the candles have to look like? 100 plus pips on 5-minute closes? But you know, we're already pretty much close to that. But that would still be quite crazy. This candle here is about this light, like 34. I think we already saw an 84 pip candle this week. We already saw probably like around a 80 something 5-minute candle this week. Yeah, this is it right here. Oh, that was a big candle. That was on the day that we were waiting. We were waiting, and the funny thing is we mentioned it too before it happened. We're like, okay, you know, 5 minutes can do like 70 pips or whatever. And then a freaking 80 pip candlestick just come out of nowhere. Started moving bullish. Yeah, it's very nice. I know this isn't the best practice, but I've grown my live account from 100 to 600 plus a run on gold euro in 3.5 months. Small position size, man, awesome. Especially because you've done it in 3.5 months. You know, some people are going to do that in a day and then blow it next week. But you've managed to somehow keep it consistent for 3.5 months. That's a whole quarter. I'll be good in no time. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, that's really, really nice over there. So the best thing you're going to do is, if you think you got lucky, you have to withdraw something. You know, if you think you're still getting lucky, you feel like you're still learning, you got to withdraw something. And then just put that aside for, like, you know, a rainy day or something. Or you're gonna kind of reward yourself a bit. But I wouldn't keep it in there if you're not yet 100% confident, because it could run it down quite easily too. But a whole quarter, that's a really good sign. Man, usually Mark Douglas will tell you in 25 trades that you're going to know if your system is somewhat, you know, profitable. 25 positions. So you've done like 3 months. What's happened today? Are people not on the chart? Is there like a holiday or something? Let me see what's going on here today. It was a bit quiet. No, there's nothing. They say it's always the days people don't show up. That's when the magic happens. It's on the days people want to sleep in, or, you know, gonna do something else. But not you, brother. You must be on the racetrack even when there's nobody on the racetrack. This is not the time to fold. Until you have them Lamborghini tires, you have no time to rest. I'm joking. I've gotten better at my entries. I'm more patient. Basically, buy ranges from lows. Okay, nice. We got Jamhuri Day in Kenya. Yeah, it feels like a public holiday here. What else? What else we got? It's because it's a week before a. Because we're getting closer and closer to, you know, holiday season. People are like chilling out, or what's going on here? Let's see. Let's see. The majority of the bank holidays are coming in on. From what week is this? This is like basically the last week of December. But you know, next week's pretty much business as usual. We got the non-farm employment change on Tuesday next week. We have ADP. Wait, how do we got ADP and NFP on the same day? That's wild. And retail sales, unemployment rate. What the hell is this gonna be? Next week, Tuesday, we're going to see some fireworks. Wednesday, okay, it's cool. Thursday, we got official bank rate for the pound. Oh, nice, man. We got unemployment claims. They're going to be fireworks next week. We got rate decisions for the pound. And we got retail sales as well on Friday for the pound. And then it's the last week that maybe you're going to have some holidays over here. Yeah, we're gonna have the holidays. Holiday. UK banks will be closed in observance of Christmas. Thursday, December 25th. Let's see, December 26th, bank holiday. So yeah, basically I think from Wednesday up until Friday is gonna be a write-off, most probably. That's only about like 3 days if you think about it then. You still have Monday, Tuesday is gonna be opened. Trust me, like you'll be surprised, especially you see with gold right now. See how gold is moving right now? These are gonna be like fun coupons for the wealthy. You know, a little Christmas present from Powell. As price goes towards like 4,400. People who like to hold on the HDF, that is. You know, us we're just like scalpers. We come in, we come out, and that's about it, you know. Other people, they wait for moments like this. Like for them, this is their Christmas, you know. Christmas started early for them. Because they don't scalp, you know, they're gonna hold the higher time frames. Oh, yeah, obviously January 1st. Still got a few bank holidays there. Oh yeah, you know, you gotta have people make some money here. Even Christmas time, man, the amount of money people make towards the end of the year on these like Black Friday deals and Christmas shopping, buying gifts. It's a business, man. It's a business. So you got to think of, you know, like sometimes there's people on the other side of the fence who are really looking for these opportunities to really milk the markets. Outside the markets. So much money is spent during this time. Pretty sure it stimulates the economy just right. There's always a bigger picture to these things. Can either choose the red pill or the blue pill, right? Well, what does Mofia say? If you take the blue pill, you go back to your regular life. Things will be normal. You won't think of anything like this. If you take the red pill, there's never going back. Your third eye chakras will be opened. And everything will become a conspiracy. Which is good thinking. It's very good to be cynical. You learn a lot being cynical. Very careful being cynical. Make a lot of money being cynical. So let's see. Yeah, the 30-minute candles over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bullish candles in a row. Look, we're just hitting the daily bias bullish. It's literally flirting with 0.40% right now. Juma today. Blessed Friday. I can't do anything without a 15-minute pullback. It's gonna Oh, you are waiting for 15? You know, the thing about gold is when it's in momentum like this, you really have to find a structure that, you know, that can keep pushing price up. Because if you're going to wait for a pullback, you're just going to keep waiting because price is going to keep moving up. So you have to see like what has price printed now that can give you some kind of a entry confirmation. You know, this is some really strong momentum we're seeing here. Yesterday I messed up my prop firm account because I made 455 profit and there is a consistent rule. I was targeting 400 to take another payout at 28. Now profit target's 3,000. My wife said, well, you just need to lose $55. Couldn't get myself to do it. Sometimes it's also difficult to lose, you know, when you say yourself that you gotta lose, then it's also now you start making the trade keeps going in profit. But you know, the thing is that consistency rule is garbage and maybe you should find a prop firm which doesn't have it. You know, for me, it still sounds pretty confusing. It just sounds like some fugazi shit that they made up just to make it difficult for people. Because that's not how it used to be back in the days. Back in the days, you just make your percentage gains and then you make your withdrawals. There was no these extra rules. The only rule that was there, which was I remember, is the one for drawdown, daily drawdown limits and news. Like you couldn't trade, like I think it was 5 minutes before the news or something like that, or 5 minutes even after or something. Nowadays they got consistency rule, they got a I don't know what rule. Oh yeah, there's only other rule as like amount of days to trade as well. Like you had to trade like a specific amount of days, but that was easy. Use any lot size really. Yeah, but avoid those kind of prop firms. That's what I will say. Just avoid them like the plague. Can we enter now and hold for a week with a target of all-time high without SL? I mean, it would be nice if you had already planned for that, because if you're looking at what we've been having and speaking about the rate cuts, like this would have been the ideal time to just do a dump shit trade, you know, where you just take a random buy somewhere, because you know you're still inside the structure. You know we just had interest rate cuts, so this would be like the idea here. And then just put a stop loss, whatever, and then just like hold it, right? But you see, now you want to come in, even though we've been speaking about this for weeks, now you want to come in and just do that right here. You could probably still get away with it. I mean, it's still in the early stages somewhat, but you know, at the end of the day, I'll just question, why did I not do that here? You know, that for me would bug me more. Like having known the probabilities following the rate cuts of the direction price would go, why not do it here? Why always do it later? Because most of the time that same mentality is falling into our intraday time frame trading, because you're gonna see move, like let's say, okay, you join the stream and you didn't want to take this buy over here, yeah, for XY reasons, and now you want to take it up here. You know, it doesn't make any sense. Like why did you hesitate? And we know that price is moving up today. It's Freaky Friday, you know, we're finally getting the bullish exuberance in. Like, you can still take it. You could probably still get away with it, because price, as we already speak about, can move a lot further than we think. So it could still set up here and then push another 100 plus pips. No worries. But the thing is psychology, you know. The thing is, you want to avoid that situation as much as possible. So you gotta set for yourself like some kind of a rules to follow, you know. So if it does happen, at least it happens when you're following some kind of a rule. Otherwise, you know what it is that you're doing? You're just basically emotionally trading. Whereby you kind of want to be more clinical. Yeah, just let it run, don't worry. Like, if you feel like you're missing out on anything, you're not missing out on anything. You know, at the end of the day, like if market pushes a volume or pushes a little volume, you're still taking like maybe 1 or 2 trades in the day. You're still going to take like 1 or 2 trades. I think when the situations really help is if you need to kind of dig yourself out of a hole. Maybe if you've gotten a few back-to-back losses, then certain days like this, you get away with like holding trades for longer. But like every decision that you make has to be a conscious effort. It can't be emotionally based. It has to be very well thought through, and you don't waste too much time. Because see, like you gotta be on time. You see, like we were on time today when the London session here opened. You see this London right here when it turns blue, right on time. Boom. See that inception, volume coming in during the London session, and now this is the follow through of that. That's following through for the people who are on time. You know, and it pays to get education. I can't stress this enough, chat. Education is really important to understand why things like this are happening. Because I can explain it, but I think, you know, you have to be willing to understand these concepts that I'm saying. Because, you know, it's really not that difficult. It's not rocket science. It only takes a bit of experience. Like you have to go through it maybe for a quarter, looking at the same things happening over and over again. And then you start to have an aha moment. You know, it's all so simple. Like the more simple you're going to make it, the more easier it will be to have that aha moment. Oh, now I lost all my tabs here. What the hell is this? The simpler you can make it, the better. You see, like in the video that I posted yesterday. Wait a second. Yeah, I posted yesterday. Made it so simple. So simple. We're not even gonna look at trading view. Because, you know, sometimes what happens is, I think we have some kind of PTSD when it comes to looking at a trading view chart. You know, so we gotta take it back to the basics. The bare bone basics over here. So if you haven't watched this video, man, you gotta watch this video over here. I think it's gonna give you a certain aha moment too. You're gonna also get a certain aha moment because of how simple it is, and it's going to be right under your nose. Right under your nose. You just can't see it yet because you're overcomplicating. You know, you need that time, that character development. Everything happens in God's timing, trust me. But it's literally right there. That's how you're gonna find. That's how I found my consistency. It was right there, but you know, you get clouded. You get clouded sometimes. There's a bit of like a haze, you know, just like when you don't get enough sleep and you want to make the right decision, but you can't. So that's how it feels like until you start seeing it. So yeah, watch this video over here. I think we're gonna make more of these, and I think it's gonna be pretty nice, pretty good for a lot of you. And I gotta go get a haircut this weekend. Been a grizzly week. Working hard like Rick James. This is how my week has been. This has been my morning routine. The morning routine of a entrepreneur or trader. Just gotta wake up, splash yourself with some water. Simple. Get back out there, sir. Dude, like that's the thing about money, you know? Money doesn't discriminate. Anybody can make money. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, Asian, alien. Like everybody gonna make money, you know? You just gotta put in the work. Money has no discrimination. It has zero discrimination. You know, it's all a matter of like who wants it the most. Who's putting in the most work. That's who money is gonna go to. See, I'm over here on the charts. Some people have already gone on December breaks. I could go on a December break, but I'm here now. I'm here now because this is all that, you know, this is all that it is to me. and you start looking at the chart like that, and positions look so easy, and you start to look how I didn't see this entry. Yeah, it's always in hindsight as well, right? It's always in hindsight that you're gonna be like, wow, actually, you know, that was pretty obvious over there. Should have done this. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to learn how to be a time traveler, right? And the way you're gonna be a time traveler is because you're gonna see something like this happen over and over again. So then it's all about probabilities, you know, because you've seen it happen, so it's gonna happen again. You know what they say, like history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. It's going to happen. It's gonna rhyme. It's gonna rhyme. Like it's gonna happen not exactly the same way, but it's going to happen the same-ish kind of like patterns, you know. Where buy entries were all the way down over here, sir. Like that was the idea, that price was going to break this accumulation and then just keep running up. This is FOMC volume that you're seeing now. This is our macro volume. Remember, chat, I told you like the best time to pass a funded account, the best time to flip accounts, and I keep saying this. I hope it's getting through, but I don't know if it is, but it's usually during times like this. And now you see the reason why, because the market will just be directional. It's very hard to mess it up, right? Because you just have to get a decent entry confirmation, stop loss, higher probability, prices moving in one direction as opposed to the other direction. There's like very specific plays that you can actually wait for, you know? Like some people are going to take like maybe even very few trades in a year, maybe even less than 10. But they wait specifically for days like this, where you're going to have some kind of geopolitical intention. Maybe Trump is going to say something important, or you're going to have an interest rate decision. And, you know, you're going to take less trades, but you're going to take really high probability trades, especially once the market starts showing you direction, which is the direction that we actually got yesterday. This was the more clear directional candle because that's the one that broke above resistance. Down here, it always felt like we're still waiting, but we're slowly moving up. There was a lot of fake outs that were happening down here though, but we could tell that price was still trying to move up. Then when daily candlestick closed bullish yesterday, we're like, oh yeah, perfect. Yeah, this is a bull run here. This is the inception. You know, you don't have to catch this daily, but you can come the next day because that daily is basically showing you the direction, showing the confirmation, and where price is going to be like attracted to. Very, man, if you don't understand this concept, this very simple thing that I'm saying right now, you're gonna be like a driver with one hand. You know, you're gonna be driving a car over there, it's not gonna be as efficient. Yeah, sure, you can cruise, but when it comes time to really lock in, it's gonna be difficult for you to lock in. You know, you're gonna find yourself like, you can cruise at a certain speed. When the speed starts to get higher, you can't keep doing this. It's going to feel really unsafe. And, you know, I think that's what happened to a lot of people this year, 2025. You had that volume really kick in. You had the speed really kick in. And people were too used to the volume from 2024 and before 2024. So, yeah, it's been an amazing year. And, you know, the whole idea is like, how can you adapt your trading to those market conditions? And, you know, we're giving you the tools over here to do that. But they say the hustle is sold separately. You can buy everything that you want to buy, but the hustle is always sold separately. Rising prices are really killing the wedding season vibe. Ooh, buyers just aren't willing to shop at these high prices, a Mumbai-based jeweler said. I think the reason I can't say this word is I don't know if like I had a weird English teacher growing up or why I can't say jeweler. I got like a deficit somewhere here. Jewelry. I have to really think about it. Jewelry. Weddings are a key driver of gold demand in India. Human psychology is quite funny. Even though I know this, I'd rather take the easy way out and just mess it up instead of taking time to say jewelry and get it right. You know, it's like some of us sometimes on the chart, we want to take the easy way out because, you know, something subconsciously is making us, holding us back over there. And sometimes it's an unnatural affiliation to just messing it up that we just enjoy. Physical demand remains soft and volatile in China as gold prices reach record highs and discounts deepen. On November 1st, Beijing cut a VAT exemption for certain gold purchase through the Shanghai Gold and Shanghai Futures exchanges. Let's see, gold prices here near a 7-week high on Friday. You know, the thing is, they say that the rising prices are killing the wedding season vibe there in Mumbai. But you know, prices only gonna go up. You know, so like they're not gonna have much of a choice. Much like these institutions, you see how prices moving up right now. They're not going to have much of a choice, right? It's only going to get more expensive. So whether you like it or not, you're going to have to adapt to these prices over here. We've already hit 4,300. Yeah, we've moved all the way down, all the way up from our psychological mark here at 4,200. And look at this. We're already all the way up here to 4,300. So if you don't, like, you know, adapt, this thing's just going to get more expensive. That's why I say, like, in India, it's so good if you're a gold, if you understand gold, like in this perspective, right? Because there's a lot of like gold businesses in India. So it'll be quite interesting to know if they actually look at TradingView in the charts. But there is a huge community of Indians who trade, right? Unfortunately, it's banned in India for whatever reason, which is actually quite strange. But man, like those gold sellers, I'm pretty sure they're gonna be looking at TradingView there in their shops. There in India, and they're gonna be like, hey brother, we have to buy gold more. Gold is breaking 4240. It's going to be expensive next month, brother. We're going to be buying 4400. Let's get gold now. You know, it sounds like I'm joking, but man, it's the truth. Like, if you're gonna buy like a big amount of gold, you gotta see like the price differences. You're really gonna add up here. That's a racist accent? It's not racist, man. It's not racist if it's true. I mean, I don't want to be mean or anything, but I don't think that I lied. I'm pretty sure that's how it sounds to a lot of people. So how can it be racist, my guy? Even you know, deep down, even you know the truth. It's just the same way, like, you know, you can make fun of anything. Just don't be such a snowflake. Yes, it's true, and I'm Indian. Okay, nice. Yeah, okay, good. You know, sometimes people are gonna be very sensitive. Some people can't take a joke. But man, look at this. Price is just skyrocketing. Sheesh. Don't redeem it. If you're in a buy, sir, don't redeem. Holy. This is what we were expecting. You know, the daily's already up 0.66%. Sheesh. I could feel it. I could feel today was gonna be the day. And I'm telling you, Chad, the market has a funny sense of humor. It does this on a Friday. On the day, like, most people are not gonna be on the chart. You know? And you know when it made this move? It made this move at a time most people are not on the chart. Yesterday. This move came like at the end of the day. Most people, even the people who trade New York session, would not, you know, they would have like, I don't know, like this move came late. This move came later during the day. Right? This move came later during the day. And then now we got this move over here. The funny thing is though, like when the daily candlestick opened today, it was very low volume during the pre-London session. It was only until price actually broke these highs that we got a distribution by, this is by 42.83. But I remember like I kind of woke up for a bit and I really contemplated getting onto the charts, but I was like really tired. I was like, okay, you know, price is like bearish right now. It's like a doji candlestick. So there's no volume, right? There's no volume during pre-London. Because otherwise we normally see pre-London already move like this. This would be like a basically like a pre-London entry. As prices, oh wait, no, this would be too early because we hadn't trended yet. Like pre-London would be typically coming somewhere around here after having some movement already. So the markets, they did actually wait. It looks like what the markets did today is they waited for mainly the London Open over here today to start distributing properly. Because you see the timing with this, London Open and then the distribution. So it shifts. Like every time we're gonna get these events, we know that the wave is coming, but we don't like when the wave is really gonna be. Like most sometimes, you know, we gotta see it from Asia, but now we see it from London session. So that usually tends to shift, but we don't see the wave in New York session. Like the New York is a different wave. You know, if you think about wave and waves, like you got wave 1 and also wave 2. The first wave is always obviously going to be like either Asia or London. The New York wave is a different wave, right? This one first crashes. It's going to crash by 5 a.m. Eastern. And then it's going to, the New York one is going to start to build up more towards the NY Open, because the NY should first do its fake out and then have the continuation, generally speaking. That's what typically happens. So you see, I'm oversimplifying the process, right? Because that's kind of what you want to do, because that's what gives you about a bit more clarity. Is 4 pips spread in gold normal? No, that's a lot. My spread is like 1 pip. You want a raw spread account, you know, like a true ECN account. You're gonna pay commissions, but you're gonna have money on. You're gonna save money on spread. A standard account is more for people who hold, people who trade like higher time frames. You know, they don't care about like good entries. They're not as refined. So that's a standard account. But if you're gonna have like, you know, really good trades, intraday trades, like your inner trades for like 5, 10, 20 minutes, raw spreads are pretty good. Gold is going old. Run. Fly, Goldie, fly. I'm telling you, chat. I'm telling you, people are sleeping on December right now. They don't even know. They don't even know. You know, I think it's just good if you want to take a break, you know. If you want to take a break, just say you want to take a break. Just say you want to take a break, because most traders are gonna use that kind of like as an excuse just because for XY reasons. I think if you want to take a break, just say you want to take a break. Because if you're a true trader, we know what's coming in December. We've been speaking about this. There's no story about low volume. Oh, December holiday, this and that. Then the only holidays are gonna be on the Christmas week. Christmas week, we're gonna have Christmas basically. Yeah, that's the only one of the major bank holidays, and then after that week as well, you're gonna have a few interruptions because that's also gonna be, I think, the New Year. But up until then, it's just gonna be business as usual. Oh wait, this is, yeah, that's January. So you're gonna have from here, that's gonna be Christmas week right here. And then from here, the first week of January should also gotta have some speed bumps. First week of Jan. And then I think it's this, or like, yeah, the first week. It's kind of odd because it's on the last week of this month. The first week of Jan is starting, but the real first week should be back to just usual folders over here. You know, we're gonna have the ADP on a Wednesday, the unemployment claims. So it's really I think the place you want to really look out for is gonna be from that Christmas week time into the 2nd of January. Well, up until then, gold is gonna use this opportunity here, basically to facilitate some of these movements to the upside. As the quarterly candlestick is coming to a close, I think, you know, we could re-break the highs there by 4,400. And this is me telling you this, not based off of my feeling, but it's just based off the data that we have. So if it was otherwise, then I would say, okay, you know, most likely we're going to consolidate, Christmas break. Then I could say certain things like, let's say if we didn't get the rate cuts and then price was still down over here, then I would tell you, like, you know, there's a pretty good chance we're not going to see too much happening in December, right? Because now we didn't get no rate cuts and we're most likely still going to be chopping in this range. But you see, we did get a rate cut. So it's always like, you know, you got to be careful in trading. You got to always speak from a point of information, not from a point of I feel or this person. You know, sometimes you're going to listen to people and you're not going to do your own due diligence. And I used to do that a lot. People would always put things into my head like red folder days are unlucky, Mondays are not the greatest, Fridays are risky. And you just have to at some point be a little bit cynical by following your own rules, because I used to listen to that, but at the same time I would watch the chart and the chart would still be doing something differently. What price range do you think gold will be able to catch? Well, today I think it's heading towards for 43.20. Yeah, like 43.20ish. Oh, 420. We're gonna head towards like 420 over here. 420. That's gonna be 1% on the daily time frame. So that could be a possible target for us. How long did it take you to become profitable? Just like shortly above a year. The first year, you know, the thing about profitability, it doesn't happen like smooth, right? It happens like, oh, you know, like it's going much better now, but then there's still some psychological things which get into the mix, right? So I would say after the first year I was technically profitable, but I still needed to iron out how to keep the money, because, you know, keeping the money and keeping my emotions in check was also another thing that you gotta experience. And that usually comes with time, with a bit of maturity, and then, you know, just kind of like accepting that it's a process and just to take it slow and not to, you know, the thing that really helped me was don't expect to take a trade. That's what I always used to tell myself. Don't expect to take a trade. Just come onto the charts. Just focus on the process. Don't expect to take a trade. And just go for the ones which just come to you. Just like this trade this morning. I would say this was a perfect example of what I used to do, yeah? So that's why, like, on a trade like we just took this morning, I was just like, let the trade come to you. You know, this is a trade that kind of just comes to you. You don't have to overthink it. You know, it's like pretty smooth. Those are the type of trades you mainly want to start focusing on. There was another accumulation over here too. It broke. But these are the ones that you know they could play out, but you want to kind of avoid them a bit as you're still trying to forge a good psychology. Because you don't want to like I know sometimes we get these entries that feel really good, but you don't want to force anything. You don't want to force anything. You just want it to naturally come to you. And you know those ones too, Chad. You know the ones that you experience which just come to you and you don't think that much. Like that's the feeling that you're chasing in the beginning as you're trying to maintain your consistency. Right? And then over time, as you start to watch these other moves, you know, and you have like a good buffer now and your account is doing quite well, then you can slowly start diving back into that kind of riskier space. That's what I would call it. But yes, sir. Things take time. That's all it is. But that's the playbook. Run a trade shared on Discord. Kindly check it out. I got a runner. Oh, nice. Wow, look at this. Look at this runner here. What time frame? That's a 30. Was this a breakout from, let's see, 42.86? Oh, you took it on the... Okay. You got it here. Damn, I didn't even see that one. It's a huge... Holy, yeah, that's a huge one right there. It's also distributing from that one too. What a runner. Yeah, on the 30-minute you got... I thought this was the 1-minute one that I was looking at here, but yeah, you can see the 30-minute one was distributing, and look at the way it came into it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles in a row. This is the point in time where we're going to say, oh, market is overbought. We need some kind of a pullback. Usually when we see this, it's not comfortable feeling, right? Especially when you're looking for a break above, because you know pullback could be coming in any time. But then let's look at what the market does. It just keeps going up. It doesn't give you the pullback. Because when gold is in momentum, it's in momentum. It just keeps going. And the only way you're gonna know this is if you're following the underlying factors which move markets, which are the macros. And you're gonna hear that word a lot on this stream, because trading is mainly to do with news. If we don't have any news, then we don't have volume. So you see, like for this year, this is the last catalyst that we have for the year, unless Trump decides tomorrow that he wants to do something again. But this is the last catalyst for the end of the year, with just the rate cuts. That's it. And this is going to carry us over to the next year too. So don't worry about this move. I know like some of you feel like you're missing out on maybe some buys for whatever reasons here, but this wave is carrying us over until the first quarter of the year at least, or until the next FOMC meeting, which is going to be in 47 days. We're going to have the next FOMC meeting. And let's see what the probabilities are. Oh, look at this. We have a shift in probabilities. Easing has gone to 26.6%. And no change is at 73.4%. So, yeah. I think like the Feds, they didn't want to give us 2 rate cuts. We were still expecting 2 more rate cuts in 26. But they're trying to avoid that as much as possible. And I don't know why Trump is not talking about this anymore as much as he was before. Now he's just focused on appointing the new guy. But I feel like Trump already made his money and what he wanted to achieve with the initial rate cut. So now it's just a waiting game. You know, it's all just a waiting game now. So we got to see how the economy is going to react to this new information that's going to be coming out. But yeah, next year we don't have anything to do with rate cut, and most of the time it's pushed anyway towards the end of the year. So we're not gonna necessarily care too much. Like as the year opens up, January, February, March, April, May, June, we're not gonna be caring too much about the rate decisions. As you know, I don't think for the first quarter we're gonna get rate cuts. I don't think for the second quarter we're gonna get rate cuts. But we're gonna focus on this guy. I think that's what's going to be the main thing. There's always going to be something. There's Trump. We're going to focus on Putin, as usual. These 2 guys are going to hold it down for us for a while. As FOMCs come out as well, and we get the new data, and they play a really long game with the FOMC. So you have to really know when the environment is kind of, let's say, more potent for something to happen. And the way you're going to know that is by coming onto this website and looking at the probabilities. But if you see the probabilities this low at 73%, no change, you wouldn't waste too much time thinking about rate decisions, right? Now we just need the guys. We just need Powell to come on next time, whoever's going to be speaking, and then just keep talking. It's going to be a lot of talking, and then we just kind of keep an eye on probabilities. But yeah, that's it. That was the last wave, chat. That was the last wave for 2026 now. That's gonna carry us over into the first month at least. And now let's see what's cooking up. You know, the economy is always cooking something up, guys. You know, just be a little bit cynical about the world. Trust me, we need these things. We're gonna need wars. Wars need to be happening because we need simulation into the market. You know, it might sound mean or weird to say this, but that's what it is. We're gonna need a war, or we're gonna need something. You know, Trump's gonna have to do something, or Putin's gonna have to do something, or someone's gonna have to do something, because we can't just be holding hands and singing kumbaya, because, you know, then the market's not gonna do anything at that point. So stay tuned. I think the best thing to do right now is just to keep following this direction. So as gold is moving up, we just gotta keep following that direction until volume dries up again, like what happened over here. Yeah, so I think like 4,400 is going to be the target, at least 4,400. And next year we're gonna be looking at $5,000. Imagine that, Chad, like $5,000 on gold. $5,000 per ounce, per troy ounce, which is like 31 grams. Man, that's crazy. See how price on gold just keeps rising? Right now we're at 4K. We started the year here at 2025. Ooh, wow, look at this. We started the year all the way at 2,650. 2,650. Now at 4,000. Going to 4,400. Next year, 5,000. And we're still gonna be here most likely for obviously 10,000. That's gonna be crazy though. It felt weird sending signals when we hit 4,000. 4,000 felt like a really high number. Putting like a 4 before the price point. Because, you know, 4K was like, it was a hard nut to break. Because around this 4,000 mark, I feel like the market's really been battling around psychological numbers. Like the last one we were looking at was 4,200. Look at NASDAQ, really nice TFX entry. Oh yeah, let's see NAS from yesterday's analysis. Let's see how that played out. To that range that got corrected, or last time I saw it was creating some form of resistance. Yeah, like put NQ here at the top of the board. I don't think I even have it bookmarked. What are we looking at? NQ or NAS 100, FXCM. Okay, so let's see. NAS 100, and then we gotta go and favorite this. We'll give it a bright blue color. I can just see it. Let's put it right here next to NVIDIA. Yeah, because the dollar is taking a beating, so NAS should be taking a beating. But as we can see, our range. This was a breakout that we were talking about on NAS. It ended up getting filled. So as price came like this, people were asking, oh, you know, where's NAS going? We said NAS is going up towards this resistance by 25.66, 660. You see as price broke, look at that distribution. Beautiful, beautiful. Look at that. I think that's where I stopped looking at NAS, when price started to retrace right here. Then let's see what happened. Created that support, and obviously we already know what happened. Boom. Resistance got hit. TFX concepts, man. Come on now. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. The knowledge is more important than the signal. Trust me on this. Because that's going to take you a lot more further in your journey, right? And it's also going to make taking the signal a lot more interesting, because now you know the probability of what's going on. Because, you know, whenever you take a trade, and you don't know why you're taking a trade, it's not a good place to be in. You know, you never want to take a trade that you don't know why you're taking that trade. You know, you should at least understand the reason why, because when you start to have like some kind of a drawdown, you're going to have a lot of anxiety. But yeah, let's see. NASA's down right now 0.75%. Definitely more bearish. You know, like even a breakout like this, you see with this clean range, it's a different situation. You're not really be expecting so much of a push here to here because of the overall market environment, right? The dollar is taking a beating right now. And it's the reason why gold is skyrocketing. Like we're literally at 0.87% chat. Trading is the best, I swear. Where else can you make $1,000 from hospital bed? Hope you're good, Woods. Didn't see you yesterday. What happened? Or are you just saying that generally? But yeah, I mean, that's true. You got the Hong Kong flu? What's a Hong Kong flu? Try and Google this here. Hong Kong flu got you in the hospital. Hong Kong flu is also known as 1968 flu pandemic. Was an influenza pandemic that occurred between 1968 and 70s, which killed between 1 and 4 million people globally. It's among the deadliest pandemics in history. I think Wood's gonna be alright. He's got those trader genes. But I'm pretty sure they got like some kind of cures and stuff for that now that they did back in the 70s. Let's see. This is bird to human transmission. Spanish influenza. Asian influenza. Hong Kong influenza. Yeah, bird to human transmission. Man, like if you cook chicken, you gotta make sure to wash your chicken properly. You don't want to get, what is that thing called? Salmonella. Like some people who buy meat from the grocery store and they never wash it. I never understood people like that. Like you buy beef or chicken and right out the packet, you just can cook it. That's kind of wild. Some people do that. It's crazy. You don't wash chicken? Yeah, you do. You rinse it. You obviously don't wash it with like soap. Well, you rinse it with water. Imagine washing your steak with soap or your chicken with soap before eating it. I actually saw a reel like that once where this guy's girlfriend told him to wash the chicken and he was literally washing it with soap. Hey, but I hope you get well, Woods. For meat, you don't need to rinse. It causes bacteria to multiply. What? You gotta rinse it. I just feel weird not rinsing it. Yo, chat, you don't rinse your meat? No pun intended. You don't rinse? Y'all just cook it straight from the packet. You don't wash it because it's spreaded? Really? What? Let's get to the bottom of this. Gonna ask Google. Do you need to rinse chicken before cooking it from the packet? What? No, you shouldn't not rinse raw chicken before cooking it from the packet? Well, I learned something new today. I always felt like it's much more like cleaner. I do wash the sink or whatever like later with spirit and just properly. Whenever I have like food like that, I always like think it's a good idea to do that. Do you rinse chicken before preparing it for cooking? My mom wash it with water, vinegar, and salt before cooking. Rinsing doesn't remove bacteria, only hot temperature does. Yeah, I think this is mixed debates over here. People, I guess it's maybe psychological too. Okay, also don't the extra water provide room for backflip? Let's see. Yeah, but I haven't died yet, so I'm pretty used to doing that. Probably won't change now. Washing raw chicken before cooking is a time-honored part of poultry prep, but info from the USDA and other experts say it's not safe and spreads pathogens. Interesting. Very, very interesting. All right, let's see what else we got going on here. I see silver should be doing pretty good still. Silver has attracted speculative momentum on the back of deficit narrative. Gold moves remain more tightly linked to the broader policy outlook. Let's see how silver is doing. Yeah, silver is insane right now. This thing is at all-time highs. It's by 64.4 thousand. It looks like it just hit a psychological mark here. Yeah, we got... Alright, awesome. Let's see. Monthly... definitely all-time highs here. Man, silver's like a skyrocket though. Seriously skyrocketing here. We got 19 days before the... Obviously, the monthly candle here closes. So it might look to take at least around this mark here, around like at least 64k. Try and close above 64k. Or 64. I think last Friday, same like today, stack up liquidities and got swept at NY session. Yeah, definitely. I think NY is gonna have a pullback. If you look at your C trader or MetaTrader, that bull run looks crazy. It's like straight candlesticks going up. The annoying thing is I was waiting for this for such a long time. I've been waiting for these buys for such a long time here. And they're gonna happen on a day that I'm not even locked in. Like fully locked in for them. Because if you look at the streak of buys, I've just been looking for buys. Like basically, these are about 11 trades, right? But except this one sell, it's got like 10 trades in a row. Just been focused on when is this bull run gonna kick in? When is this bull run gonna kick in? It's like kicking in here towards the end of the... What is this? The first week? Second week? It did take its sweet time, but you know, it's a good sign of things to come though. It means that next week we're gonna have quite a lot of opportunities too, or at least we're expecting to. And we don't have any red folders for the rest of the day over here. We only got like GDP. Think gold and silver have reached their limit for the day? No, man. Like gold can still go up. This is 0.87%. You know, this if you look at yesterday's candle, even it closed at about 1.24%. You know, so this candle here, even if you just compare with yesterday's PA, you still have about an extra from here to here. That's going to be an extra 150 pips, not counting the wick that it could make. So maybe we're going to say about 200, 250 more pips there before we get to any peaks, because we're like 0.87 right now. You know, we gotta say from point of information, right? So if candles we know can do 1+%, then on a day like this, we can easily get to that mark. So there's a lot more upside left here for gold. Don't be looking for sells just yet, because you will be surprised that price can just keep moving up. I would say the only time you want to look for sells is if price now starts to create new market structure. You know, that market structure is going to look like this. Start to create new lower lows and then somewhat push towards the downside, right? But when we're moving up like this, you know, you still want to be moving up with the market. Look at this. It's not created any new lower lows. Because now you're just trading what you feel, not what you feel. Trading what you see, not what you feel. So just wait for structure to build to the downside. That's why it's super important to watch yesterday's video on the difference between market structure and price action. Because even just understanding that alone is going to increase your hit rates. You know, it's super important. Market structure versus price action. You have to know the difference, because market structure is not where you're getting your entries from necessarily, but it's a very strong confluence that's going to help your price action, you know, either becoming a high probability of a winning trade or a losing trade. So make sure you watch that video, chat. Hey, Saint Laurent, thank you, Saint Laurent Poppy, thank you for the sub. Sometimes New York continues the push. Yeah, it's gonna pull back New York first and then continue the push later. Silver spreads too much on your broker. On a Friday too, I wasn't fully locked in. Yeah. It's beautiful. Like, you know, trust me, like if you've been trading for a while, if you have a few market cycles under your belt, you start to realize the market's very, very intentional, very, very intelligent as well. Very intelligent to market, because you know, at the end of the day, it's behavior of people, right? It's the behavior of people that it's tracking, that it's also manipulating, just like any good business. You know, you have to look at the behavior of people and you got to see, how do people think, you know? Like, how can we get them to a certain point? Like, how can we do these things? You know, this is what governments do. This is what businesses do. Think people like, you know, Steve Jobs, for example. You know, it's very, you always said stuff like, people don't know what they want until, what did Steve Jobs say? Something wild like that. People don't know what they want. I know what people want. Wait, let me just see if I can pull that up. It's just human behavior. Because, you know, at the time, like, people didn't want computers, like with color and fonts and all of these things. But Steve Jobs is like, no, you want this. You just don't know you want this. So it's like also a skill to have that foresight. That sort of like understanding. That's why Steve Jobs is Steve Jobs, right? Because he's not just looking at the data of the behavior that's currently there, but he's really good at anticipating it too. And it's also trading is the same way. You're looking at behavior that's there and you're also anticipating it too. That's why you're going to visualize an entry and then also anticipate the outcome of that entry, correct? What did I say? Steve Jobs, customers don't know what they want. But that's a very you know, that's a very expert level thinking though. But you can do just quite well with understanding, you know, also the first part. Obviously not in trading. Not in trading, because in trading, if you understand the first part, yeah, you got the entry, but people sometimes mess up the follow through. They kind of like mismanage the follow through, and the follow through is what gets you really paid. Oh yeah, what'd he say?
Or anybody thinks it's what I want. They don't know what they want till I tell them what they want.
It's the guy from the Shark Tank.
And I said, Steve, you sound like such an asshole.
Yeah, but Steve Jobs is a bit of an asshole too.
What that sounds like. He says, no. That's how it is, Kevin. Now, are you making money with me? Am I your fastest growing OEM?
But yeah, Steve Jobs is a shark for sure. But that market behavior, what I'm saying is, if you gotta look at the market, right? Even if we look at TradingView, let's go to our secret Easter egg over here, which is gonna be the TradingView dinosaur. See, can we find it? Oh, he's not here today. Maybe he's gonna be on the monthly time frame. Where is he? Oh, there he is. There he is. Our TradingView dinosaur over here. So if you're gonna take it back to the 1970s, imagine if you were, just imagine if you lived a very long time, how well you would know people. You know, like you watch these vampire movies and stuff like that. Like imagine how well you would know people here. From this is just chart work from the 70s, but obviously it's existed way before. But anyway, it's been doing this for such a long time. The market is so intelligent to every single thing that we can make up in our head. You know, that's why people who try and figure out the market, it's very difficult to figure it out, right? But you're gonna make more money understanding it in terms of why it does what it does, right? Don't come at it from a victimhood mentality of, oh, I got stop hunted, this and that. Just come at it from like you're trying to understand why it does the certain things that it does, right? Because that was the whole idea behind breakout trading for me. You know, I always used to say to myself, if I was ever going to catch a move like this, I have to understand where that volume is coming from, you know, most of the time. Where is it coming from? Because, you know, if it's moving up like this, sometimes it's hard to catch it. So you got to investigate. You got to investigate and see where are those inceptions coming from, because you're trying to track this animal to its inception, right? You're not trying to always catch it as it's in momentum, but you're trying to understand where it's coming from, right? So most of the time I realized it would come from areas like this, correct? Areas like this. Then over time I started realizing that it can come from areas like that, but they take slightly different shapes and sizes, right? And then you start to look at other things and, you know, different time frames, and you add on to your experience. But just to keep it simple, it comes from areas like this. That's why breakout trading for me is like the best form of trading, because it's more predictable than anything else that I experienced. You know, like even times like this, then you gotta experiment with the other time frames. You're gonna go on the 15, because this looks super choppy. Yeah, very choppy over here. For example, let's go on the full screen. Super choppy, right? And then you go on the 5 minute. You start experimenting. Then you're like, okay, you know, 5 minutes looking good over here. Got a small little speed bump. But what happens if we go on the 15 minute? You know, let's see, 15 minute. Oh, 15 minute looks pretty clean here. You know, so we got a clean range. And you know, we cover this, man, in the mentorship or in the free simulations we do on YouTube too. You know, we speak about these things. This is what kind of help us a whole runner sometime. Because we're looking at the 15, we're seeing some clean candles on the 15, right? So that should be a magnet, right? That 5 minute resistance is like a minor resistance. Because if we've tracked price down to the inception, which is it right here, sort of bottoming out, we have to tell ourselves, how can we get into this trade with a confirmation? And the only way you're going to get into this trade with a confirmation is if it breaks a certain wick to confirm the direction. Because you can't do anything here because the probability is still 50-50. So you need it to actually have like a change of character. And so I say, oh, okay, look at that. Look at that. You know, 5 minute didn't make so much sense, you know. So now I'm going to be looking to see how the higher time frame ranges are going to look. Because the 5 minute was squeezing me too much. And this is what I used to do a lot of the time, was I used to squeeze myself too much. Some of you might be squeezing your analysis too much too. You're not giving the market room to breathe. Yeah, you got too many lines on the chart. Everything is gonna be a sort of a reaction for you. You gotta give the market room to breathe. You gotta take off those chains that you put on the market, because you know that's the best way to do it. Look at that. Then you're like, oh damn, look at this. Holy. Okay. All right then. Let me see if I sample size this. How often does that happen? You know, then you're gonna come on a day like this and you're gonna say, okay, you know, I sample size this thing the other day and like, okay, so I realize when market moves a certain way, over here we should be getting what I saw we typically get. So you're looking at it and you're like, okay, this is a thing that I back tested, so I'm gonna take this buy like we did today on stream as it breaks, right? As it breaks. It's the same idea, and then we're gonna see what happens. See, oh, okay, today we had a small pullback, but the reaction from that point was still true. It was still true. Then you're like, oh, okay, so I'm kind of onto something here, you know. And I think that's what the beauty of backtesting is, because once you start doing that, you build your confidence and it just becomes like clockwork. You just get better at it. You just get better at it with time, and you got to focus on just those key points. So you don't like overanalyze, you know, you don't confuse yourself. You just focus on the key points. That's why yesterday's video meant super important. I don't think, at least to my knowledge, there's been a video like that on YouTube yet that's going to clarify to you properly how you can use both market structure and PA to get really solid entries. You know, because these are the two building blocks when it comes to execution: market structure and entry and price action. These are the two building blocks. This is the one that most people struggle with. It's the price action one. So we have to simplify. We have to oversimplify for a bit. It's kind of like you have to unlearn to relearn, right? And that's a good foundation there, that video, I think. Because market structure, I'm sure you guys have good market structure a lot of the time. You can understand prices moving up on gold, for example, right now. We all know this, you know, but it's getting into the trades that we struggle. So when you break it down like this, you're going to focus on, it's going to be easier for you to like break out of, you know, maybe break even stages or losing stages. Because now you know what the problem is. You've identified where your focus needs to be. Right? Because before that, maybe you didn't know, and then these two things were wrapped up together like this. And when you wrap these two things together, it makes it really good for your entries, but you have to do it the right way, because this part should only take you like 5 or 10%, the market structure part. The rest of the percentage is going here. But some of us, we put more percentage on this, and we think this is the reason for our entries. Next entry, buy or sell. It's starting to create new lower lows, but it hasn't yet fully formed. So you have like lower high. You got another lower high here. It just created its first new lower low. But is this enough to tell us that the market structure is shifted? Still too early. These could just be fake outs. You know, and then this is where it starts to get a bit more expert level. That video is more of a beginner friendly, but when it starts to get more expert level is now when you start to incorporate things like time into the mix. What time is it right now? 4:38. 4:38 is still volume time. You know, if this now we're heading towards that 5 a.m. Eastern candle, we might see it fizzle out for a bit. But if you get that 6 a.m. Eastern candle and it's still doing something like this, right? There's a good chance you could get a pre-NY sell-off, because now you're using time to your favor in Confluence. You're understanding the difference between how market structure operates in different sessions. That's a different video now. But we got to start from the basics, right? We got to start one step at a time. So many Indian YouTubers are promoting scam brokers and I lost my money. Oh, withdrawal denied, Vantage broker. Sorry. FX Giants is a broker I use. Nice. Genuine FX broker. IC markets. I was in this buy so early, close 150 pips, no faith. No worries, man. At least if you know why price is going up, then you're gonna have faith next time. I trade like the current Steve Jobs. How does he trade? I'll be satisfied to go for a sell if I see a 1 hour change of character with a strong body candle close. Awesome. And a retest. Perfect. That's why I trade silver on futures. Love the info, man. You're killing it, and I appreciate you. Appreciate. Do you have a channel for signals? Yeah, we got a... It's not just signals, it's education too. Some people just send signals, but I don't like send signals without education. We got like a nice 5-minute support here. This is the one which is like we gotta get through, like really get through this. Those smaller lower lows are still risky, you know. There's actually the first lower low that was formed right here. Still risky. Even this will be risky to take a sell over here because you might get trapped. You might get a candlestick. This typically what could happen is a candle will close below that support. It could even re-break the previous candlestick close, but because of the bullish momentum, the moment you see something like this, it's curtains. Game over. You know, it's a very risky type of trade to take when price is moving in momentum. So ideally, you'd want to see this place get respected, broken below, get respected, and then with the timing, let's say if that was a 6 a.m. candle and it starts to do something like this, there's a pretty good chance that it's going to come down and retest, correct some of this move. And then it's going to do its thing towards the New York session open. You're going to see maybe it's going to set up another range, go up. Then with New York session open, New York is kind of like finicky. It might come down and then continue moving up for the rest of the day over there. But there's a certain way that every day the market moves, right? So you got to lock into that pattern. Like basically this is it, but could explain it better, but yeah, that's basically it. There's a certain way it moves pre-London in London. Then that 5 a.m. Eastern, there's a small gap in between. In the next 20 minutes, there's going to be a small gap in between. I think it might even end up ranging here for that 5 a.m. Eastern. And then from that 6 a.m. it starts to build up again. So you see, we like dissecting. You always have to approach the market in a sense of dissecting, right? You dissect something, you got to isolate it. You got to isolate it, you got to study it, and then see how that works with this other part. Right over here, and how that works with that other part. But take it step by step. So number one thing you got to focus on, market structure and price action. Understand the difference. Then we can start talking about time, more confluences, macro fundamentals, and I guess that's just building your edge over time too. A lot of it comes down to organization. That's why whenever we go on YouTube University, there's no organization also on YouTube University. You know, you watch a bunch of 5-minute videos and you think you're going to do it, but there's no organization. 15 is a need of a low. The 1 minute created lower lows. I said the 15 pullback has started. Yesterday I got a nice sell and got greedy, took me out. Oh, it was 150 euros. Don't redeem it. Yeah, Schwartz. Finally hit my profit. Oh, nice. That's a trailing stop. Yeah, again, this is a good trailing stop, but definitely this support needs to break. Because once you get through that support, look at this, you got clean range. Clean range for price to come down. You see, that's going to be the market structure is going to be slightly shifting there. And then it's going to be the price action. Now, yeah, entry confirmations that will give you the probability of you getting a winning or a losing trade. You know, and there's a reason why I would only take a trade pre-London, one trade, London, one trade, and then pre-NY, another trade. Just to diversify that risk, to give myself the best possible probability of ending the day profitable. So if you want to like trade now, this break, there's a lower chance, at least in my opinion, to get the move to the downside properly, because it's still in that time frame of London exuberance. But if you let it wear itself out, you know, the market's like a child. You have to let it wear itself out sometimes. So if you let it wear itself up just right, then you gotta get a better chance to catch sell-off if you get your entry confirmations below that zone. That's gonna be around that 6 a.m. Eastern. Right now, don't get me wrong, it can still play out, but it's definitely on the riskier side. So you'd be better off focusing on it's slightly wearing itself off here as it's approaching this little consolidation area. This range is around 113 pips now. $113. Oh, how are we gonna end off December here? Like 18 trades. Be nice to get a few more bomber clots. I think does the gold telling us no trades today and start some next week? No, gold is telling us, man, so many trades. What do you mean? Look at this price action over here. This is the best man, we haven't had a day like this in a while on gold. It feels the volume is there. It's just gonna now play around this range. Maybe it's gonna attempt to come up over here soon. Retest those highs. There's so much volume. Remember, chat, trade what you see, know what you feel. Let's see what GJ is doing. GJ is still in its nice little bull run. It's got a range to correct on GJ. Oh, it's doing that trickle. This is the worst way for a range to get filled. Because I'll show you an example of this on the gold 15-minute that happened too. But, hey, what's up, Rainsy? Yeah, well, you see how price breaks and then pulls back, breaks and then pulls back? It's what we call the trickle effect. The trickle effect is a mechanism by the market to ensure that not enough people profit from this range over here. You know what I mean? So it's going to be very difficult to catch the actual breakout. So this is a little market trick that you're going to notice from time to time. And understanding this is super important because a lot of the time people overtrade situations like this. Take a buy here, lose. Take a buy here, draw down. Another buy here, draw down. Like, what the hell is going on? Take another buy here, slight drawdown. You know, the trickle effect is a very dangerous environment to operate in. That's why you should be taking one trade per session, because sometimes you don't know the environment that you're in until it happens, and in hindsight you're going to be like, damn, I actually had no chance. You know, so this is what it is right here. And I'll show you already. See, it's coming back to retest the top of the range. As I said, it's like it was breaking from some area here. It's not the cleanest consolidation though. This is just mainly due to momentum, to be honest. I wouldn't personally take this, but it did somehow bottom out slightly. But I personally would not take it. But yeah, it's retesting the top of the range there. So it's still in bullish exuberance. It just faked out some traders because it's still respecting support by 4307 over there. This is a false support. Just because it broke that and created one new lower low doesn't mean market structure is going to shift yet. You have to be patient if you're looking for sells. It's where timing really plays a key role. But yeah, anyway, like it tried to do trickle effect here on Goldie yesterday. Remember, that was a range that we're looking at. It was such a nice range over here to correct. This was from here to up over here. So you can see it's attempting to break once. It fakes out, breaks again, it fakes out, breaks again. Give like a solid push on that one, but eventually it did come back down. About like 60 pips. It came down, kind of like broke again. And then eventually, look at this with the New York session open. You see again, this is the timing aspect of it. Check it out. With the New York session open, that's when it had room to move up. See, and then like filled up the range all the way up over here. It couldn't do it here. It had to wait for this session open. GJ does a lot of fakes, which is why I don't trade that pair. Yeah, it's because it's low volume pair. That's why. It's not like gold, where if gold like breaks and it breaks with a conviction, it usually just goes through those levels, right? It's just gonna fill up those ranges. That's why I like gold. It doesn't hesitate, you know, because people are afraid to miss a move, so it doesn't hesitate. When it breaks, it's like you kind of like forced to get in, so that pushes price. Yeah, this thing is heavily accumulating here. It's gathering some orders overall to continue possibly the bull run right here. So it's gonna play in this area, but this is good because now you've identified your bust stop, right? Because this is a bust. If you didn't catch it during that London Open, then you know you pretty much missed that trade. There was a few entries here and there, but like very slight. And then now this is a major consolidation accumulation, getting ready for the next extension. Possibly bullish, but we're gonna wait and see here. Awesome movements. Thank you for the sub. I started with $100 December 1st, and now it's running at 160. Congratulations, sir. Got some coffee money over here. This can be retracement and another setup, so nice, but trade it just for the fun. Have y'all watched that Diddy documentary, The Reckoning? Pretty interesting stuff. And I feel like Diddy's the Antichrist or something, you know? The way he's portrayed in that documentary is kind of wild. I didn't know he had so much influence. This guy was literally part of everything. Making 50% to 60% a month is good. I mean, that's amazing, yes. But the question is, how much are you risking to make that percent? It's trying to do the breakout here. It's trying to go for that continuation. It's like 0.90%, slightly below 1%. I thought we'd see more candlesticks close in here before the move up, but I guess the hourly is about to close. We got like 5 minutes for hourly closure over here. It's like yeah, we got hourly candles about to close. That 5 a.m. this next candle actually should be a low volume candle, so that's the tail end of a breakout right here, in my opinion. Because that 5 minute, man, I think it's gonna come and range for a bit. That's what I would expect from that 5 a.m. Eastern. Come back into the range and then start moving again from 6 a.m. Eastern. Can you tell me about GU? Jeez. Gold is a real savage here. Still trying to push onwards. A very risky position to be in. New hourly open. This hourly just had it's already had some kind of extension here. New hourly open to that 5 a.m. Eastern. What's GU doing? GU is up 0.0%. It's basically a doji on the daily. So there's not much of a direction over here. Hey, good morning, Sardran. Sarandran. Yeah, GU is a doji candle. Let's see, GU actually should be moving up because it's against the dollar. And I'm sure the DXY, we can go over to our indicator here and see. Oh, dollar is actually not as weak as I thought. It's a little bit more above neutral. But gold is skyrocketing. GU is a doji, so there's no direction. But you have your key levels over here. You got a resistance. And you got another resistance. You got support down here too. That's on the hourly. See, 30 minute could be doing a little fake out situation here. Because it has small little accumulation. And it distributed, but it's giving the sellers here a hard time. It looks like it wants to pop back into that range. On the 15. But it looks like quite choppy. Doesn't look like there's anything much on GU to trade at this point. Yeah, it doesn't look appetizing at all, man. GU is a doji candle. It's at 0%. Let's see Bitcoin. How's Bitcoin faring? Struggling to move up, it seems. But on Bitcoin, we're still waiting for some price action. How do you manage withdrawals? Just withdraw what you need. That's what I've always done. I've just always withdrawn what I needed. So if I don't need it, then I just leave it in the account. That's all that I do. And if it hits like a milestone, let's say on a yearly basis like this, then you know you want to start a new year fresh. Like years go by super quick, right? We're already in December. 2025 is already over. You just withdraw what you need throughout the year. And every year, it's kind of like, you know, you're going to make your major withdrawals at the end of the year. Because you know the idea is you want to have other things in place which are also giving you funds, right? Because trading is still like an earned income. So it's a good way to set yourself up for other things in life. But you know, that's the idea. And then you're just going to have this as a secondary source. So you just withdraw what you need from it. But that's kind of the point that you want to get to. But I still think in general, that's a good rule of thumb to use, generally speaking. Just what you need. Good thing I didn't mean to revert. Hey, Fidel Christ. Thank you for the sub. TradingView website's down. Working quite fine here. You should download the app. Is really nice. I think it's a bit more consistent. See you here in the... Oh, there you are. Got you here in the gulag too. I recently subscribed upon stumbling on this channel an hour ago. Do you live trade here on stream every session? Yes. Like, not every session, obviously, because, you know, that's not possible. But we stream Monday to Friday from 3 a.m. Eastern. Right? That's London Open. From London Open, whatever time zone you're in, that's when we stream. So as soon as the London Open bell goes off, 5 minutes before, we're in the market. 5 minutes before London opens, because even the setup sometimes can come like 5 minutes before London opens. Cutting it early today. Wish you a great weekend. All right, enjoy. Yeah, like 5 minutes before London, boom, in. Stream started. Because some people, you know, majority people join the stream like after the fact. Usually like joining the stream like really late. All right, so I got new Owly. At least this new Owly here has some fresh legs. It's got fresh legs to move up. So you can think of Owly candles like this whenever you're new Owly, because each Owly is going to give you a move, right? So you see these ones had a move, that one had a move. This Owly candle has not yet had a move. That's 5 a.m. Eastern. So it's got some fresh legs if it wanted to continue moving up over there. I wouldn't focus too much on the 4 hours and stuff. I would focus, if anything, on the higher time frames to know how much it can push is based off from the 1 hour. From the 1 hour, if it's going to be a new Owly candle or not. Because, yeah, obviously the 4 hour candles are going to be waiting a very long time. And I think they can still keep moving. Like you see from this 4 hour candle over here, it pushed an additional 207 pips. 207 pips from where we currently at. So technically we can do an additional 270 pips. 207, sorry, pips. Right? So you're focusing on those hourly candles. And then this candle is closing in 56 minutes. So it's going to get fresh new volume inside. It also depends on your broker, because if you go on Owanda, for example, you've already gotten the new 4 hour candle. So you got like some fresh legs over here. The 4 hour candlestick has a lot of room to make either gold to keep going up to 1%, or we come back into the gulag and then we consolidate there for this 5 a.m. Eastern towards pre-NY. Which I think is more the case I would be expecting, to be honest. But let's see. Let us see. Gotta do an update on this as well. Gotta make an update video from the last video that we did. And I think what you're gonna realize is why. Let's see if I can find it. Is it here? Yeah, why I was so convinced. This is a video here. So, what is this on the daily? We broke above that area. We were waiting for our rate decisions. And we said price is either going to create a resistance here and then move up, or it's going to consolidate. Going to consolidate before we get the bull run. Looks like we got the consolidation first. But we were going up. See, man, bias has always been bullish. We just had to wait. We just had to sit on our hands and just wait for it to come. That's all that we had to do. See, it ended up consolidating here instead. So go back on the daily. This is what happened. Pushed up. Consolidate, right? This is the candlestick right over here when we're making the video. Right here. See, consolidated. There was a lot of waiting. You know, we had to wait for those rate decisions and then it moved up. I think just even understanding this, super powerful. So powerful. You know, how is this possible? It's all like anticipation. Right? We had like what, 89% easing. So it's most likely, even if you watch the video in the beginning, I said price is only going to go up. This thing is only going to go up. If it came down, chat, man, let me tell you, a lot of people will be losing money because that just would not make sense. It wouldn't make sense at all for price to had price to come down. I think it was only gonna move up. So yeah, we're in that bull run right now. So don't feel like you're missing out anything. Like, trust me, it's Friday, but we still got a whole week ahead of us, and this is what's gonna continue onwards throughout the whole of next week too. So we should be catching some pretty solid bumper clots. Is it a bad decision to take a counter trade now on gold up to 4,300? Yeah, I think like you're gonna wait. Just wait until that new hourly candlestick. I would say give it more time to create some price action here, just to get its like true intentions, you know. But right now, essentially what you're doing is you're playing a range. So if you take a sell, you're gonna take a sell down towards maybe support by 4308. Because 4,300 is going to be below that support level right over here. So what can happen is if you take a sell and it's a profitable sell, price can just end up bouncing off this level and then coming back towards your entries because we're still bullish momentum. 4,300 is only a target if we can break below that support level here. Then you can look at that, 4,300. What's your background? It's just wall panels. No. I just got a margin call today. You're ruining it, Renzo. You're ruining it. And on a Friday, eh? Man, you got a margin call on Friday? Price is just moving up? Damn. Because you kind of just have to be right about the direction. It's like a 50-50 thing. If you hit a buy and you had a decent enough stop loss or entry, then, you know, pretty much an easy buy today. He must have taken a sell, eh? Was it a sell? You get margin call in a sell? Yeah, you're gonna have some days like this where it's like you want to take a sell, but the sell just doesn't seem to work out. Idea is expecting price bearish sideways. Oh yeah, going against a grain because you know we've been waiting on these longs for a minute now. They were bound to come in, like surely on a Friday of all days, right? It takes some time sometimes for it to build up. That's why we always mention that even the last time we had FOMC, it still took some time to build up because we had the rate decision, but the next day was like a doji. You know, it sometimes takes some time to build up. So it's the same situation that happened this week. It's a buy on my other account. Ooh man, unlucky. I reckon if you got like a proper entry, like a breakout, and even like so far what I've seen, at least with TFX concepts, the breakouts have all been playing out. Like since the pre-session time. Let's see. Oh, maybe you could have gotten faked out. Oh yeah, you maybe with a 20 pips stop loss. Let's see. Usually I go with 20 pips. Try to go with 20 pips. I think with a 20 pip stop loss, that'll be fine. But let's see, with a 16 pip stop loss, you might be cutting it a bit too thin. Oh, no, it still seems okay. It still seems fine. Even a 16 pip stop loss survived that. That's when that pre-London here started. From 1 a.m. 1 a.m. Let me see. Boom, 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 boom. Would you have taken a buy here? I don't know. I would have come here instead. This would be the break. That would be the section with an inverted head and shoulders. Inverted head and shoulders, SMA confluence. You got the crossover, break of the highs. This is at a 1. It broke at around 128. Yeah, that would have been good too. 16 pip stop loss also lines up nicely with that support. It wouldn't be up here. It would be right over here. Expecting bullish momentum from the day because it didn't sell off. These lows were still respected. It didn't break the lows. Even if this was accumulation, it didn't break the lows. Plus, you can see volume was already gearing up towards the upside here. This was from the Asia now. That was the Asia breakout. Boom. Volume came in. Took a small pause. Continuation. Took another pause here. So you got in a break right there, a bit of drawdown, eventually continued up. Then he came here, took another pause. And then this is where we took the buy, right over here. Continued moving up. Entry is about 42.80, right above the breakout console. Do you think we shall break above the daily liquidity today? Where's the daily liquidity, sir? I think we can move 200 more pips today. At least see like 1%. You know, we haven't yet seen 1%. It's at 0.93% right now. It just needs to push a bit more to see 1%. Then like yesterday, we could probably see like 1.20%. But anyway, that's it for me anyway. I think I'm going to be done for the day in terms of trades. And yeah, I think that's what the best thing to do will be. Or you share your signals on Telegram in the mentorship. Do you think we shall... Oh, okay, we answered that. Oh, Battleground. What's Battleground? You mean Battlefield? I haven't actually played Battlefield in a minute. Battlefield was real fun. Hey, thank you, Brad. Thank you, Brad. Yeah, that was fun. You know, this is what I do. I'm not much of a gamer, but whenever a game like Battlefield comes out, I gotta whip out the old Call of Duty skills. You know, just like show people who's boss a bit over here. Look at this nice little leaderboard. Whenever there's a game like Battlefield that comes out, I just come back on, you know, just discipline the youth. a bit, you know, discipline the youth a bit, and then I take my retirement until the next game. So the next game now is going to be GTA. Yeah, I think GTA is gonna be real fun. It's gonna be the next game. You see, we gotta come on here. We gotta teach the youth. $15.64. Yeah, but thanks guys for getting us up to 7,000 Discord members. Short of our goal of 10,000 over here, but you know, we're slowly and steadily growing here. The best London session stream. Tweeting 10k soon. Very underrated channel, I feel, but you know, it is what it is, and God's timing, you know, everything's God's timing. So if God thinks this is not the time, then this is not the time. I've been playing... Oh, Ghost of Tsushima. They're going to play the second one. Oh, then going to play the second one in the future. Yeah, that was a fun game. We also played a bit of... We played a bit of it on stream too. That was a really nice game. I was waiting for a... Isn't there like another Ghost that came out? With a lady this time, like it was some lady. I wanted to play that one. But in terms of gaming, there hasn't been really like anything interesting of late for me. I recently replayed The Quarry. It's got like a couple real actors in it too. It's a really fun game. Basically, it's a decision-based game, but it's got like a really nice acting and storytelling too. Check it out. I think you're gonna enjoy it. It's got this guy. And then there's another guy over here. I forgot his name. Yeah, it's got this guy in it. This actor. There's not like A-list celebrities, but there's still like you know them when you see them. This Asian girl kind of reminded me of the Asian girl from Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. I don't know if it's her, but in the game it really looks like her. Do I like fighting games? I think like there just hasn't been a really nice fighting game. So I haven't gotten into like much fighting games. But UFC is pretty fun. UFC is pretty nice. I feel like they should make a good F1 game. You know, that's something that I think would be really awesome. Formula 1. But the last fighting game that I ever played and really locked into, I think, was Def Jam. Which is really old. The second one is Ghost of Yotai. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Buying zone, gold buying zone. It's losing a bit of steam. It is trying to move up. I joined Tetra Elite. What do I expect? Hey, welcome, Jackie. You haven't joined Tetra Elite yet. Otherwise, you'd have the thing next to your name. What do I expect? Exactly what it says there. Before you buy, it's going to tell you what to expect. Crazy you grow a channel so fast. Been here since February 24. I'm grateful for the growth. I'm appreciative for it. Yes, indeed. But I do feel like it's still growing slower than other people who really like half-ass in this industry. Like the amount of like transparency and stuff we put in is actually a lot of work. Like we also got a really nice Discord and everything over here. It could be already more, in my opinion. We should already be at 100K. But you know, it is what it is. Like you just have to be grateful and just understand like everything is all in like God's timing, and you know, just keep putting in the work and showing up, and eventually you get what you get, right? That's all that it is. It's all that we can do. So if you gotta have a like profitable trade today as well, you know, awesome. If you didn't have a profitable trade, just show up tomorrow again. Show up the next day. Just keep showing up. Do, 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 do. You got margin call. Rough. But that means that you are over risking, right? Because the only way you're gonna get margin call is two ways: over risking, over trading. You know, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I never got margin called because I always protected whatever I had in my account, and I only had $500 to start with. I never got margin called. Granted, I used to add every now and then, but it never was getting to a point where it's depreciating very quickly to get me into a margin call. So you must have either been over trading or over risking. That's it. That's it. I pressed the, oh, you pressed the wrong lot. That's a tricky thing with lot sizing too, because if you're always changing your lot sizes, then wait, let me see. Is there any analysis here? It's still respecting this area. It's like gradually moving up, but it's struggling. It's really struggling. Yeah, if you're always changing your lot sizing, then that's when those accidents are happening, right? So you gotta see like how can you reduce the amount of or what softwares or anything can you use to prevent that from happening again, right? Inshallah, that's not happened to me. I'm very cautious about that thing. Whenever I'm putting in a lot size, very cautiously doing it. Sometimes I hit the wrong buy or sell by mistake, but when it comes to lot sizing, ooh, you can't mess that up. You cannot afford to mess that up. So what I used to do was I used to stick with one lot size, and my lot size is scheduled for 16 pips. 16 pips all the time. So I would always use it, and if it was above 16 pips, I would just reduce the number just a little bit, right? But I would just keep it, I would maintain, even like right now on stream, when I stream, I have a lot size that I'm using already, just to avoid any kind of like unnecessary big jumps or fluctuations in lots. So you're gonna go into your session. When you go into your session, you just place a lot, whatever lot that you're using. You know, just like that's how I start my day every day. I start my day, check the lot size, check the session, and then adjust it. Right now, long AUD JPY. AUD JPY, yeah, it's up like 0.26%. Goldie is still trying to find its footing over here, but you see when you look on the left hand side, there's nothing, right? There's no price action. So the only time you're taking a buy here is based off of the most recent price action. Right? As you can see, since it's moving up, you're just expecting bullish momentum, and you're looking at the daily, because the daily is the only time frame whereby you can actually look left and see something. You know, if you're on the lower time frames, it's like open water. So like you're in a huge ocean, right? And you're just in the middle of the ocean like this. There's nothing going to be on your left-hand side. It's going to feel like you're at an all-time high. So you got to zoom out. You got to zoom out and then see, okay, so this is where that we're heading to here on the daily time frame, right? And all this momentum, just think of it as prices just getting pulled like this, like prices pulling it up like that. And that's what's creating that structure you're seeing on the lower time frames. Let's see on the weekly over here, you got weekly straight as support. You know, people are looking for sells. You know, that's a wild thing. Because during a stream, people are looking for sells over here because of the weekly resistance. But we're like, you know, probably just going to make a support and then continue moving up bullish over here on the weekly. This doesn't really mean anything, right? That resistance. Because these levels are meant to get disrespected. Like, we're meant to go through these levels, chat. Do you see how many levels price has gone through here today? All those resistance points. Imagine all those people who try to like sell. Continuously sell price action. And it just keeps going through these levels. Even when your accounts already grow, do you still use the same lot size? Yeah, I like to use around 500. Like for me, about 500. Let's say anywhere from, let's say $350 to 1,000. I just keep it there because I think it's a pretty comfortable place to be in. And I don't feel the need to increase it here at this point because psychologically I can execute without hesitation between this range, right? So once you increase your lot, let's say I start risking like 5k per trade, that's also going to affect your psychology. So you might not be as consistent as you would want to be, right? You might not be taking the risks that you need to take. So for me, I like to keep it there, and I think that's also like quite okay. You know, where else do you get paid that amount anyway in a day's worth of work? Nowhere. And if I ever find myself in a losing streak like I did this month over here, 4 losses in a row, that's not going to affect my psychology. You know, but if I increase 5%, that's 5, 10, let's just say 5, 10, 15, 20k. That shit adds up fast. Holy. 5, 10, 15, 20 instead of maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. Dude, big difference, man. Big difference. So I'm always thinking about losing. I'm not thinking about making money. And you're just trying to find like the perfect balance between like what you need in the market. Like, it's not too low that you don't care, but it's not too high that you care too much. You know, and then you got to look at your performance. What are your percentage gains looking like at the end of the month? You know, end of the month, how much you make at the end of the month. Let me be honest with you. If I was making like 10% per month, I would have to consider, and my account is not big enough, I would really have to now consider 3 to 5% per trade at that point, if my account is not big enough. Because, you know, when your account gets bigger, also your trading gets bigger. Correct? Like, the game always changes the more money that you make. It's always a different game. So you can't just trade like $1 million thinking with psychology you're going to trick yourself to thinking it's $1,000 trade. Psychology will naturally change. Your trading will naturally change. That's why even like hedge funds, they're going to make so much money, but the psychology to making that money and everything has to change. So they can't trade like I'm up crazy for the month, yeah, for example, but they can't trade like I trade. It won't work. Like, I can't go to hedge fund and then make this type of gains. It won't work because that's at a different level. You know, in life, man, when you get different level, always something has to change. What got you here is not going to get you there. So, you know, you got to take it easy as well, you know. And sometimes I think it's good to just get to a point where you're just comfortable, you know, comfortable enough to make the right plays. I can't speak on the influencers who do 100k trades. So I know some of y'all are watching people who are doing like 100k days, 50k days. I can't talk about those people because, you know, first of all, I don't know who those people are. And I guess, you know, my reality is slightly different from 50K a day. I wish I could have 50K a day. Sounds like an amazing experience. But sure as hell, I would not be where I am today. If I was making 50K days, yeah, that's really nice. Take my humble $350,000 days. At least that's real. You know, that's real for me. 50K a day? I don't know about that yet. But I think by the time I get to a 50K day, would I be trading? Would I be trading, or would I have passive income coming in? You know, now you start to ask yourself different questions. Do I need to wake up? Do I need to deal with the market? Do I need to deal with social media and all of these things? You know, you're going to ask yourself, you're going to have different problems at that point. Or do I want to, you know, like have passive income coming in, make the right investments, and then just completely get out of it? Because I think anybody with a right mind would do that, right? Imagine if you were making 50K a day. You would be very cautious to make the right investments so you never have to work another day in your life. You wouldn't want to be just on the charts trying to grind 50K from your broker daily. You know, that could come with a lot of heartache if you find yourself ever in a full losing streak. You know, and it adds up quickly. And a lot of these influencers you see making 100K a day, man, I've seen them do it, and they're risking 50% of their accounts. So don't get it twisted. These guys are risking basically their full accounts. You've seen Qbank make like, I don't know how much he made one time. That was a whole account he risked. You know, you can throw around names. You see Tory Trades. Tory Trades just said, oh man, I can't believe it. Trading, you know, I made 50K. Oh, this and this. But she risks like 50% of her account. This year she was already in drawdown like 60%. You know, she was in drawdown 60%. But you don't see that side because you only see the profit side of, oh, I'm up 6 figures this year. I made 200. That's all that you see. But you don't see that this person was down 60%. And that could have been easily a loss and an account blown. So that's what you're trying to avoid. You know, stay in your lane and just scalp from the market what you're comfortable with living. You know, some of us live in third world countries. Man, making $1,000 a day in a third world country, you're gonna live like a king. You know, just like get from the market what you need. And I'm being honest, chat. You're not gonna find a live streamer who's gonna be this. Oh, I don't know, but anyway, I try to be honest. I try just be honest about the whole thing, because I know social media can sometimes like rush your process and make you feel that you're not making enough. But you know, start with the smaller bills. Start paying, like I always say, a cheeky takeout, phone bill. Just start with the small things, and then gradually come up to your rent. Start paying your rent with it. Then you start buying a few other things, and that's just the journey, right? You sound very decent, bro. Keep up the good work. Thank you. I'm just honest, man. I do things with integrity, and you know, if I think it can help people. I know people don't like to hear that too. Every time I mention that, I notice the views go down. And that's fine, because some people just need the comfort food, you know? Like, comfort food is good. It's good to a certain point until you're tired of your own shit. Then you stop wanting that comfort food, and you actually start to lock in properly. So that's something I realized too. We all love the comfort food. You're right, exactly my thought when they lie, because most of them do lie. Yeah, I mean, it's a huge amount to be making, you know. At the end of the day, you can't just be throwing around figures like that. Just like that Alex G guy, or whatever his name is, the dude like could have, technically speaking, been a trillionaire right now. If he actually had the skill to change $100 to $1 million, dude, he could take $1 million to $1 trillion, just given enough time. But it's comfort food, you know. That's why they do so well, and that's why, like, us genuine traders, we don't do so well, because we're like reality and their lifestyle. That's why they do so much better. Lambert, Raul, all these guys. The reality traders, we don't do so well, but you know, that's because we live in reality. But you know, what can you do? Can't do anything. can't do anything unless you go over to the dark side. Should we go to the dark side, chat? No, I don't think we're gonna go to the dark side. Yeah, those are like OnlyFans. They're selling their ass like OnlyFans, but for trading. Oh, look at this. Price is gonna move up here. See if it breaks above 43.22. How long do you spend trading a day? It depends on the day. It depends on the day. Sometimes I'm like today, for example, I was done trading within like what, a few minutes. When did this breakout happen over here? This breakout was a London session. I would pretty much be done in the first 3 minutes out of executed. I'll be done in the next 3 minutes, which was 6 minutes, a total of 6 minutes. But just because, you know, we're streaming here and, you know, just watching price action, so we're on the stream for a lot longer. But in general, pre-London time, I give myself 1 hour. 1 hour, most of the time I end up getting my trade in the first 30 minutes on average, right? And then for the London session, I'm expecting within the first 1 to 2 hours. But sometimes we get it also quite early too. So in total, a trading day for me would be maybe about like an hour and a half. Maybe I think on average. An hour and a half. We're not loitering around, you know, we're just taking the position and then calling it a day. About an hour and a half. Do I trade futures? I trade Goldspot, but you know, gold basically moves the same way as futures does. If you go on futures here, we're probably having the same price action. Let's see. Let's go on the 5 minute. It's pretty much the same thing. Bearish, bullish, bearish. Oh, here we have bullish, bearish, bullish. Oh, but futures is... This is slightly behind too. I think I'm behind... What is that? 10 minutes? On futures. But more or less the same thing anyway. If like gold is moving up on Goldspot, like futures is also most likely moving up. Futures is up right now 0.95% and gold is up 1.0%. 1.0%. So not much of a difference. Thoughts on today's Nasdaq price action? I think Nas should be coming down if gold is doing so well. We live in a twilight world and there are no friends at dusk. Oh, deep. Do you trade gold every day? Yes. Yeah, like some of these influencers, man, like they treat trading like OnlyFans. It's insane. They gotta sell out so much, you know? They kind of become slaves to these prop firms. And every day I get prop firms trying to contact me. But yeah, I feel like that's a bit selling out too. But they get paid a lot for it though. It's very difficult to say no to a bag. I get paid like $10,000 a month to do this. Sounds tempting, but it's a sellout. That's why I still wear my black t-shirt, chat. Because mama told me not to sell work. 17.5 same color t-shirt. Selling out is very risky. Just watch the Diddy documentary. It actually shows how predatory some of these institutions are. Especially the music industry and, you know, also these pop firm industries quite predatory. I've seen the contracts. No, very nice contracts. Very, very aggressive contracts. Non-compete clauses and all of that stuff. Maybe you answered already, but why not do prop? You should have risk. You have the risk management and cautious analysis for that. I think trading your own money is a lot better. You know, I think Drake said it himself somewhere that he said, what did he say? Screw valuations. Something about live money too. He wasn't talking about trading, he was talking about something else. But for me, I personally feel the same way. If you can trade a live account, you want to trade a live account. because you have control over your money. You're on a regulated broker. You can withdraw all your money if you want to withdraw all your money. It's just a place to be, right? It's just a place. If you go funded route, the whole idea behind a funded route is to scale a personal account. It's not to, a lot of people do this instead, right? This is what people do. They go funded route, they make money from funded route, and they use that money to have fun. They're gonna go to hotels, they're gonna buy themselves nice crap. But the idea is you wanna pull whatever funds you can get to start breaking yourself out of the chain. You know, so you can kind of grow your own account. Because trust me, man, if you got a skill and you start with a $5,000 account, you scale that thing to $10,000, it's exponential growth. You know, just look at my spreadsheet and do the numbers for yourself. So you don't want to be a slave to a prop firm because there's too many rules. You know, you got consistency rule now and all of these other things. It's not nice, but it's good to start as a startup capital. And trust me, there's no other businesses that you're going to get involved in which can give you that opportunity like a prop firm can to actually get startup capital. And that's what it is. Think of trading as a business and a prop firm as a way to get startup capital. In the real world, people go to the bank. The worst thing that you're going to do, they'll go to a bank or they'll go to a SACO or something, I don't know, you know, but you can go to a prop firm, pay a low amount. The entry, the barrier to entry is so low compared to starting other types of businesses in the real world, correct? It's such a low barrier to entry. The value is always been placed on your skill, on your ability to actually do trading. Right? So different from any other thing else you're going to do in the real world. So think of it as a business. And once you think of it like a business, you start to see the opportunity that's actually right there for you. The rules have really changed. Yes. Man, you like Goldie's trying to pull up over here. It's breaking, but it's struggling a little bit, but the volume is still there. It's breaking from this zone. So we had a small little accumulation, little fakey situation down here, and then started breaking above. Look at that. We broke above. Boom, boom, boom. It's getting out of this accumulation. Now it's still heading all upwards. Feels weird trading with very little sleep. I kind of feel like I'm dreaming over here. Vic, what you say about Bloomberg Terminal? As I listen, it costs about like $25,000 per terminal a year. Yeah, per year, if I'm not mistaken, right? Or is it a month? Terminal costs around $24,000 to over $34,000 per user annually. Oh yeah, it's per year. Oh, nice. You got your own like ID card here too. Basically, with Bloomberg, if you look at something like this, for example, yep. AI bubble image. This is the kind of information that you can get on Bloomberg. Their terminals help you see certain things like this, right? They help you see where the money is, sort of like what companies are trading what. So that's the kind of like information you can get from that. It's very expensive information. You can learn about the employees of the companies there too. I don't know about maybe contact details, but it's like a chain. It will show you like everything and how institutions are liaising and all of these things. You know, it's like a really smart money trading. It's not FVG. It's a smart money trading where you're gonna understand from like a much complex and way that where you gotta put like a lot of due diligence into your analysis and research, and then come up with certain ideas, like how Michael Burry says that the whole AI thing is a bubble based off of the data that he gets. I would not be surprised. Like Michael Burry definitely has got access to the Bloomberg terminals, and he's cut from this cloth. You know, it's a very different cloth. That's why it's almost impossible for you to be a smart money trader and compete with these guys if you don't even have the instruments. You don't even have 30K to put into a Bloomberg terminal to use. Like, that's real smart money concepts. A lot of what we do is basically, a lot of what you learn of smart money concepts online, most of the time is technical stuff, right? It's usually technical liquidity grabs, which are all true to some extent. Maybe a little bit of fundamental. But it's not digging deep enough. You're not digging deep enough to call yourself a real true smart money trader. And to be honest, as a retail trader, you don't need to, because remember, we're operating at a different altitude. Their altitude is much higher. They have a lot more money, a lot more at risk. Our altitude is a lot lower. So we don't need this extra stuff. This is all just extra for us as retail traders. Because, you know, everybody's going to trade, you know, $1,000, 10,000, maybe 20, yeah, 100K. It's not like huge amounts of money. It can definitely add up if you're a dumbass, but it's not crazy. Man, look at this thing just freaking distributing beautifully. Still moving up here. Now like 1.13%. Told you we still have about like 200 more pips. 200 more pips over here. We have to see at least 1.20%. We're up 1.13. The Bloomberg thing is a total different world. A new learning cycle. Oh, yes. Man, if I go into that world, I'm going to be a baby again. I'm going to be a little baby. I gotta almost take away a lot of what I've learned over here to now adapt to that environment. And actually get mentorship and get coaching and, you know, get taught about everything. Gotta go in there like I don't know nothing. Hey man, it's been a long time. Do you know Sierra charts? No, sir. How many years trading data do you have? I've been trading for, I'm going into my 6th year now. So I got about like 5 years trading data in the noggin. In the dome. 5 years trading data. And we've only been journaling here since September 2023. That was the point. Like I used to journal, but that was just to become profitable. But once you become profitable, now you're just kind of focusing more on just getting better and keeping the money, right? But I think journaling is really good. It's really good. Like, but here's the data. Here's the data, at least from September 2023, from when we've been live streaming. Unfortunately, these streams you wouldn't find anymore because the YouTube algorithm decided to do me dirty. But this is all the data from the moment we started streaming. Do I think it's too risky to buy now? I think like you should have been looking at how to get into a buy here, because this was the last bit of structure that was formed. I was yapping a lot, but this was the last bit of structure that was formed right here. And you got that little fake out confluence, so accumulation break to the upside. Like this is just basic TFX concept stuff. You know, if you're locked in and you know what you're doing, then you should not have had a problem being in this trade if you wanted to have a trade. I already had a trade. We're going for 4400 ATH. Yeah, we're going for 4400 here. Versus that daily resistance. And it's crazy, right? It's coming on a Friday. Of all days, chat. Friday. Do you ever want watch Randy Howell videos? Let me see. Randy Howell. Master Trading Psychology under 83 minutes. No, I can't say that I have. He's a goat. Listen to your elders. I watched his YT videos about how to be a profitable trader. Nice. You can share the videos if you want. You can come over here on Discord. And then we got a psychology section. We'll post some of his videos in here. So you got like Architect Post Master Emotions by Miyamoto Musashi. How to master your emotions, young Padawan. But I think I'm going to call it a day here, everybody. Thank you all for tuning into the stream. It's been a crazy Friday. And we're expecting more of this PA for next week. And we'll see you then. We'll see you on Monday on a London session. That's going to be 3 a.m. Eastern. And let's hope that the markets keep pushing like this and we can get some pretty good moves. So don't feel FOMO, remember. Don't worry. This is just like, it's basically a small signal of what's to come. Don't worry about this. It's just the same thing that happened, just to put your mind at ease, yeah? It's the same thing that happened in 22nd of August over here, right? And look at how much more upside that we had. Look at what a crazy bull run that we had. So don't feel like you're missing out on anything. If you already had your 1 or 2 trades a day, just call it a day. Trust me, there's a lot more opportunities to come into next week. This volume is not going anywhere. And I will see you Monday. Adios.
My boy, take it down, what it is, cash in the bag.